Between the episodes on Eisenholm. A bright fall morning awaited us. I started the day with another harvesting of the maple wall before replanting far more maple seeds. Hopefully we'll get one more big haul of wood before winter sets in. With trees cut, I moseyed over to the farmland to collect more of our finished flax, collected the completed compost from its temporary spot at the tannery, and harvested the cluster of larch trees that we'd planted a couple of episodes back. My axe didn't survive the lumber collection, so I had to resort to the saw to finish it off. Fun fact, if you use a saw to break a log block, it will not disturb the rest of the tree above it. Could be handy in certain circumstances. With wood collected, I refueled the steel furnace a bit just to get that last 3% going. And then I set sail in search of slate. I went over to the same cave I'd found loads of it in previously, and many slabs later, it was time to head back home to begin breaking them down into a whole bunch of little rocks. With said rocks put away, I smithed up a few new steel tools, picked some pink apples from our second apple tree that was ready to go, and set sail once more, but this time in search of clay. It took a few trips back and forth to be able to bring home all of the red and blue clay that I'd come across, and I turned the red clay into bricks to save on inventory space. They're gonna be cooked into brown bricks so we can finally finish the farmhouse chimney one day. While I was in the workshop, I decided to put some of that earlier harvested lumber to good use. And I ran another round of the charcoal kiln. And that brings us to today, where we're gonna continue the theme from last time of building new things and finishing up a couple of existing things. So while our charcoal burns away there, we also have, burning away in the kiln here, some really nice, super hot red clay bricks. And I've got those cooking with all three doors open so that they're gonna come out as a nice, big old batch of brown clay brick. And with those brown clay bricks, we'll finally be able to finish the chimney on the farmhouse. That's, been sitting like that for, oh boy, what was that? Episode 9? An Iron Will to Build? I think that's what the episode was called. That was my first flue-inspired building fever dream, where I used birch windows on some of the windows, and I think I replaced them in the meantime back to the oak that they should have been, but I don't know. But in any case, don't mind him, but in any case, our steel is actually done. All right. And we'll just pop the back. There we go. Just pop the lid back on there. We'll leave that as is until we're ready to do a new batch. There we go. We'll let those sit there and we'll process them in a bit. But I'm sure there's something that you noticed during the between the episodes portion there. I've installed Napster. No, not that one, Metallica. The other Napster with a K. Napster with a K. So for anybody unfamiliar with it, Napster will allow me to basically save my hands, so to speak. Instead of having to aim and click, I can just kind of hold down the mouse, which has been very handy. I've had a little bit of a sore hand recently, so that's helping. It's helping a good bit. But regardless, let's just pop that coal back in there. Do we have enough iron to do another load? No. We'll worry about that later. We've got a good bit of iron. A good bit of steel. Our real goal for today, with all those resources we've collected, we're going to finish up a couple of the projects we started, and of course exactly where I want to work is exactly where Rift is. This is the way. Let's go inside. You're why we can't have nice things. Okay, so when it's less dangerous outside, then we'll be heading out there. But way over yonder, where the Rift doth hang hauntingly in the air, we have the little doghouse for Dog the Moose. And obscured by the pig barn, we have the milking barn. And with all that slate that we just picked up, oh boy, we have, I think, more than enough to finish the roofs on those and have plenty of extra for, well, at least some of the bits and bobs of the castle that might have slate roof. Mainly the rest of the gatehouse, and probably the other gatehouses. I might put little conical roofs on top of the towers, but I haven't decided that yet. I kind of like the open, flat top, with just the crenellations and matriculations. But regardless, today, We're gonna finish the doghouse. Gonna finish the milking barn. Probably gonna try and go finish the tannery. I don't think I'm gonna put a slate roof on there, but I think the tannery deserves a little bit more than the crude door and window that we've got on there. And also, you know, a proper roof. And I also want to get a head start here on marking out at least a rough idea of where our greenhouse / composting building is going to sit. I had the thought that maybe the greenhouse portion could be separate, and somewhere in the composting building portion of it that's going to be attached as part of the same larger structure. That is where the little hatch that goes down into the pig pen is going to be. Almost as if we're harvesting the pig poop to make compost. Yeah. It's recycling for all the bodies that we throw down there. I mean, grain that we throw down there. Ha ha. Don't tell Larry. But of course, with all of this as well, oh boy, we have a lot of men at the door. But anyway, along with all of this, of course, we are going to want to work on the castle walls. And since we have a batch of brown bricks going on for finishing up the chimney here, this will not be a task that will be finished today, but for sure this space and the bedroom, and a little bit more of the attic, they really need to get finished up. It's been a long time coming. They've been neglected. But because everything apart from the chimney is inside work, I think we're going to save that for the winter. Get all the outdoor activities done while it's still warm enough to do outdoor activities. And speaking of warm, and it no longer being warm soon enough because it's already October, I think it's going to be about time we get some of that cloth dyeing to make the Canadian winter clothes, don't you think? I sure think. I had a thought once, but only once. Twice, that is not allowed. So while it's a little bit dangerous outside, let's run on over to the, run on over past all the lads and off to our Mason Lodge here, just so we can make ourselves a whole bunch of slate roof to use when it's safe to go outside. Oh good, I brought food. But not much, apparently. Okay. We're just gonna make a whole bunch of stacks of roofs here. 42, that's a weird amount. Oh. So it works in weird multiples. Right. Right, it's been a while since making some of these. Strange. I'll make some roofs. There we go. That should do it. Roughly 3.5 stacks of roof and nearly a stack of ridge. For the projects we've got going on, that should hopefully be more than enough. For now, we got plenty of clay, plenty of slate, we're good. We have supply. Boy, it feels good to get restocked on stuff. There's still more clay deposits out there, yet to be pillaged. Alright, you get out of my way. No, I gotta close the door. Oh boy. Got real dangerous out here, real fast. They really don't want me working at night. Okay. So I'm going to wait until it's a little bit safer outside, a little bit brighter, and I'm going to cut up a bit of wood in the meantime, so we've got a lot of maple to work with for the milk barn. And then we're going to get into a nice old time lapse as I slap the roof on there and maybe try and lure Dog the Moose over into his new little home. And hopefully not be killed in the process. Me, not him. I am the far more likely one to be harmed in the move. Then we'll go over a couple of the little design choices with the upper portion there of the milk barn. Kind of already described the holes in the bottom there being a good size for bighorn rams to go down, or bighorn sheep. The ewes, the rams won't be giving birth, but the rams will be, or should I say, singular ram, because it doesn't matter what generation he is. He'll be up on a little walkway we'll be building. You'll see. You'll all see. With your eyes. Look. Look with your special eyes. A little more unhinged than usual. I'm full of steak and Mountain Dew. Okay, let's get into that time lapse when it's safe, okay? Yeah, let's just do that. Wait a minute. Actually, let's do a little bit more sprinting through the dark of the night because we have to get that cloth dyeing. Because that takes a little bit of time, so we may as well get it going before we start building. So, Canadian clothing here. Alright. We're gonna need some pelts. We'll have to check on our pelt supply. But we just need leather. It's showing all sorts of different colors, but quite literally any leather will do. We've got a bunch of standard leather, I think, so we should be good on that. The trousers, we're going to need a bunch of blue. It's going to be 10 blue, 6 red, 4 black, 8 red, 5 plain. 10 blue, 8 red, 4 black, and then some plain bolts. Oh, and that's also going to mean we need to mordant the cloth. I've never had to mordant cloth before. How do we mordant cloth? Diluted alum, diluted cassiterite, diluted chromite. Oh, we have crushed chromite. Oh, happy day. So that's going to mean, 5 liters of water. So we're going to need 10 chromite per barrel. So we can put 25 cloth per barrel. That's going to be enough for everything, really. Okay. Well then, let's grab ourselves a little bit of this cloth. Grab those. Might as well grab that one bolt and pop that back. But we're going to need some plain cloth anyway, so let's grab that so we can make our 5 plain, and then we'll throw a stack of 25 in, yeah. Live and learn. Except I don't learn 'cause I forget stuff. Grab a little bit of water. Let's fill up one of these barrels. There we go. There we go. Diluted chromite. There we go. We'll put our cloth in there, and after 8 hours, we're going to get 25 mordanted cloth. I should probably seal that if I want it to do anything. Now that we've got that going, we can now head off to finish up Dog the Moose's little doghouse, as well as the milking barn. And once those are done, this cloth should be well done. And when we come over here to work on the tannery building, we'll just pop them in a bucket of dye. I do have the right dye, right? Yes, we do. Oh, thank goodness. So we can let the dye soak on into it while we work on other stuff here. While I figure out what kind of roof I want on this thing. Maybe pine. I do like a good pine. The scent of pine could offset the smell of all of this. Tanneries smell disgusting. Kinda smells like the pee-pee poo-poo man. Rated R. Starts Friday. I almost got distracted. Let's get to building. Aha! In the wee hours of September 7th, Dog the Moose vanished without a trace. Now it's up to one crackpot investigator to pick up the trail. And hopefully not die in the process, because it's high rift activity outside. But I will find my boy. Oh, I found too many other boys. Oh, wow, that's a lot of boys. Why are there so many boys? Dog? 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 If I was a moose, where would I be? Have you seen my boy? My boy? So many pigs. I just have to keep my ears open for the telltale signs of a moose. Where could he have gone off to? He's the size of a Ford F-150. The extended cab, even. Dog, have you seen my boy? I don't think any of them have seen my boy. Let's see, there's no way he's in here, is he? Hello? Oh no. Chicks, no. Oh no. Oh, this was a horrible mistake. Oh, the poor babies. That was a horrible revelation. We're just gonna not think about that ever again. Now let's see. Okay. If no one's seen Dog, perhaps he's phased through the ground and has come down here. dog. How did you get down here? This is crazy. You're crazy. Crazy girl. We got tons of drifters, but no sign of dog. This does not bode well for my boy. You know, we're just gonna say he's on vacation at the moment, and he'll turn up. He'll turn up. He's in those rebellious teen years. Yeah, that's what we'll tell ourselves. To make us feel better. As I wait for the day for my son to return. My biological moose son. But I guess while we wait for him to turn up, we've gotta keep pressing on. Of course he disappears once I finish his house. Although I suppose he's been gone for a few days and I haven't really noticed. He disappeared on September 7th and it's October 2nd, so that's been 4 days. He's been missing for over 4 days now. I'm a terrible father. And well, while I can't really do a whole lot of building out there with it being high rift activity and crawling, absolutely crawling with danger. But what I can do is sprint and scream through the night all the way over to the tannery, pull out the very likely now mordanted cloth, and get it dyeing, so that we'll have our cloth ready and prepared when we need to put together our Canadian winter clothes. And dodge and weave those lads while I go out there. Ruffians, the lot of them. The pain is worth it, it's my punishment. Alright, oh, right, the gray dye. I need to turn some of that into black dye. Well, I'll get the red and blue going at the very least. Take that mordanted cloth, get 10 of that into blue, 8 of that into red. Let's grab ourselves some scraps I keep on hand for just such an occasion. You know what? We'll do 2. 20 liters of black dye. I don't think I'll need that much black dye, but you never know. You know what? No, I'm just gonna make 10 liters. All right, we have 8 hours on that. Those will be ready, and then 8 hours after that. So, in about 16 hours, plus whatever time in between the first dyeing and the black dyeing that I have to do, we will have all the cloth that we need. And once I get that cloth, then I can continue the hunt for Dog the Moose, or just wait for him to wander home and headbutt me when I'm least expecting it. If he hasn't despawned from how long he's been in captivity, there's no way he's despawned this time. He's out there somewhere. He's just very, very sneaky. A master of disguise, if you will. But lo, he shall reveal himself to me one day. Hopefully soon. Built him a house. Maybe he didn't like it. Well, when he shows up, I'll ask him. So I think since most of the activities we're going to need to do involve being outside, we're going to sleep off this high rift activity night. That way, when we wake up, that first set of cloth will be done and we can get the rest of it all in there dyeing. So off to bed we go. Oh, do my eyes deceive me? Is that a small bit of snowfall? And, ooh, it's only October. Come on. It's too early for that. A big thank you to this video sponsor, Lagless. Want to play Vintage Story on a server with your friends? Lagless offers full mod support server hosting for games like Vintage Story, Minecraft, and more. Use my affiliate link in the description below to help support the channel. And now, back to the video. I may have woken up slightly too early. Well, I'm gonna wait for the sun to come up here in the next couple minutes. Hopefully some of the lads out there will despawn. And if Dog the Moose shows up, fantastic. But otherwise, let's continue on with a little bit of building. And of course, I will not forget to do the fabric. So as we get to finishing up the milk barn roof, let's jump into another little time lapse, shall we? Ah! Ow, I banged my knee on the counter. Ah. Ah, the first bun toasting of the year. Ironically, when everything outside is toasty right now, and I wish to cool my buns in real life. But it's the exact opposite here, where it's really chilly outside, and my buns, they be needing a good toasting. Therefore, we must toast. So once we've adequately toasted our buns, we'll head back out, grab the black cloth, and then let's get to making ourselves a good new set of winter clothes. Ooh, it just got a little foggy. Or perhaps that's smoke from the fires here. I should get a carbon monoxide sensor. PSA, check your carbon monoxide sensors at home. Just in case. Ooh, and the food is done. Nothing like a good bun toasting and getting a few sets of meals out of it. Pop these sealed boys down below. There we go. Now that we're toasted to perfection, let's grab that cloth and see what kind of clothing we can make. It's calm. It's cold. And the milk barn's about as done as it's gonna be for the time being. The detail work and what I'm doing with these wooden pillars yet to be seen. Don't walk in the water. It's above zero, but with the sleet, it's a little chilly. There we go. Black cloth. Excellent. Alright, onward to the basement. We'll grab ourselves a few pelts and get ourselves an outfit. And we might also want to clear out a little bit of this inventory. It's a bit full. There's our leather. Good. And then hides down in the basement. Alright, what do we have for pelts? Alright, we'll grab these, and one of the huge. Oh, what a joyous day. Alright, let's craft ourselves a brand new outfit. Alright, let's start from the bottom up. I need a sewing kit. Always forgetting about the sewing kits. Alright, Canadian fur-lined boots, there we go. Next we've got our trousers. Our shirt, which we need another sewing kit for, so let's just whoop, angle our viewpoint down so we can make another. There we go. And last but not least, our woolly sweater with another sewing kit. Alright. I made these recipes. You'd think I'd know this, but there we go. With our sewing kit created, we're gonna put a medium pelt there, huge hide there, why not? And we get ourselves a sweater. Excellent. The time is nigh to change our outfit. And perhaps we just run around like this. No, of course not. It'll be silly. We're gonna pop on our pants. Pop on our Canadian shirt there. Get ourselves some nice boots to cover up our little toesy-woesies. And boom, a sweater. Gonna keep us warm and dry there, eh? Oh, for sure. Look at that, walking around. I'm all bundled up. I'm cozy. I got myself my tool belt and my defensive Canadian bracers here for all that combat with the wildlife. Excellent, excellent. So our next point on the agenda here, we're gonna get on down to the Tim Hortons and grab ourselves a double-double, eh? Or perhaps we'll mark out the greenhouse. Yeah, let's do that one instead. We don't even have a Tim Hortons here in the wonderful land of Eisenholm. Maybe we'll have to rectify that one day. But not this day. Here I am reporting live from just behind the barn, where we're going to build ourselves a nice greenhouse. Or at the very least, we're going to get it marked out. And then perhaps continue the hunt for my son, Dog the Moose. So this little rock outcrop here, this is going to have to go. There we go. Much better. Nice, flat, clean ground to work with. Apart from all the grass, but we'll deal with the grass. All in due time. Brought a little bit of our leftover sandstone cobblestone here, just to keep the style in line somewhat with the other buildings here. And where was that strewn straw? There's my strewn straw. So that is going to be our entrance down into where the piglets are kept. And I think with this being a building that's going to increase warmth, I don't know if it'll actually affect the temperatures of anything that's in barrels or chests or whatnot, but alongside the greenhouse, I'm going to have a little bit of a composting station. And inside that stinky, ruddy composting station is going to be our entrance down to the little piglets. As if we're harvesting their poop. But we all know, pigs don't poop. Nobody poops. Poop isn't real. Never has been. So, I think having this against the back wall for the greenhouse portion could be good, so we're just going to pop that right there. Have our little entrance right up on the wall. So the far side here is going to be our greenhouse. And this side will be our composting area that we might just have to level out the land ever so slightly. Now if we take a look at our handy-dandy handbook here. Once you've obtained glass, you can make a greenhouse to extend your growing season. So the maximum interior volume on a single greenhouse is going to be 14 by 14 by 14. And the roof has to be at least 50% glass. We're not making this thing 14 blocks tall, but this does mean we can have decently sizable sections. So, let's get marking it out. There we go. So we've got ourselves 3 different sections of 6 by 14. We'll have little dividing walls with double doors and then a 2-block path running all the way through the center, as well as maybe some doors on the sides. And then on this side here, we'll smooth out the land and probably add a 4th greenhouse of some size. And that's where we're going to put a whole bunch of chests and such and other containers that will speed up decay rates so we can stick like bread dough and other things like that in there to get it nice and rotten. But then stick it in barrels also put in here to turn it into compost. And eventually, through that method, we will get ourselves fields. Fields entirely full of the best soil in the whole game, Terra Preta. Now in a practical sense, it's a very minor upgrade in terms of soil. We might be able to get 1 extra crop in there. It's got a higher nutrient amount, so we might be able to get a little bit more growth going on. Or at the very least, not have to worry as much about crop rotation unless we're going real heavy on it. But the main reason I did 3 greenhouses here is so that we can rotate our crops. For science, of course. But we've done quite a bit of farmland building today. I know I wanted to get onto the tannery. But alas, I have yet to settle on a roof type that I'm happy with. I don't necessarily want it to have the same 45-degree roof angle that everything else has. I kind of want a nice 27.5-degree angle. The only issue is that's pretty difficult without custom chiseling the entire thing. So, the design of the tannery is still up in the air. So in that case, now that we're all bundled up and we can withstand the cold quite well, let's first gather up the crops that we've almost forgotten in the garden there. We've got some cabbages and I think a little bit of flax left. And then, let's get some castle walls put together. Because that's a thing that we have to consistently do. Because there's a lot of wall. And they gotta get done. So let's get our green thumb on before we get our smushed and swollen under a hammer thumb from construction work going on. That's a thing. Don't judge me. Probably a thing. It's not a thing. What you doing? You missed them. The cabbages are gone. There we go. Every single crop, as far as I'm aware, has now been picked up. Harvested. That's the word. Oh. It's a total eclipse, now it's gone. I actually heard a cover of that song recently. I can't remember the band name, but it was a pretty good cover. Turn around, babe. I should put this molten cloth away, 'cause I don't need it in my hands. I ain't gonna do much with it. It's not part of my plans. I just made it to have a spare, and flax goes in there. I don't really know the lyrics anymore,
Now I'm just saying stuff I don't know what for. That's the wrong chest, the leather goes in there. Put away stuff before I get scared. Rift activity is really heckin' high. If I stay out at night, I might just heckin' die.
I have no idea if any of that's gonna get left in the video. Oh, I'm a silly, silly man. I do silly things. Winter is coming. It's practically already here. We've already got our first snowfall coming down. And surprisingly, or I guess not surprisingly, since it's all freshly made and toasty, the winter clothes have kept me surprisingly warm. I think by this time last year I was already shivering making up all the castle walls, so this is a huge improvement. But since it's cold out, and it's dark, and it's snowing, let's head back home. Ah, that's better. So, we got quite a decent bit done today. We got the milk barn mostly done. It just needs a few of the decorative elements put in place before we can call it complete, and get some animals in there to be milked. And speaking of animals, we've got a fine dog, the moose. He's on the loose.
That silly goose.
It was only him and a couple of pigs in the outer fenced-out portion of the pig barn there, so I don't think it was entity cramming that pushed him out. He just kinda disappeared. He can't have gotten too far. I'm sure he's out there somewhere. We just have to find him. And find him we will. But since we've gotten a good bit done today, I think it's about time we call the episode here. But as long as these Canadian winter clothes hold out, I might try and do a bit more outdoor building. See how long these can keep me toasty and warm. Perhaps I'll finally implement that update that adds hats, a toque, and a little flat cap too. I should probably get on that. It's been a long time coming. But regardless, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And a special shout out to all of our channel members. You're all the greatest. I appreciate you so much. But I'll see you all next time as we continue the hunt for Dog the Moose. Maybe spend some time working on the western portion of the outside curtain wall. The eastern side's almost done, really. A lot of the decorations in place. But we'll see how much longer we can work outside before the cold harshness of winter pushes us on inside, and then maybe we'll finish off a few of the decorative bits of the workshop. And the house as well. The farmhouse needs some love. But in any case, thank you once again, and I'll see you next time.
Bye.
Spider Pig? Have you seen my boy? That way. Let's go look.